Dear friends, welcome to eSouthAsia.com TV. Today we have with us a film director and film teacher from India, Gauri Patwardhan. Welcome to our program.
Hello.
You are a filmmaker,
Yeah.
and we have heard about your latest film, Two Tales of Mudikhana. It's a story where you have portrayed a neighborhood of Pune through the eyes of two artists. Can you spot some light?
This neighborhood is not just a neighborhood. I mean, no neighborhood is just a neighborhood, but it's an older neighborhood of the city. It's not one of the newer suburban neighborhood. It's a neighborhood where traditionally lower castes in India have they've been staying.
Whom we call Dalits.
Whom you call Dalits, yeah. It was in 1997 that because it was 50 years of independence, a lot of films were being made on various aspects of related to freedom movement or anything that could be linked to independence of India. So there was a documentary being made on the life of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, who is the Dalit icon, who's someone who wrote or who was the chairperson of the Constituent Committee of India. So he is credited to be someone who crafted India's constitution. So because the film was about him and they were shooting, I guess, all over Maharashtra, since Dr. Ambedkar is from Maharashtra. They were shooting in Pune, and I was working on that documentary as an interpreter and a researcher. So the director, who's a German director, they therefore needed an interpreter, had given me a contact of someone, of this artist on whom I made a film later, who lives in that neighborhood. That's how I reached that neighborhood for the first time. And that's when I realized that neighborhoods are not just neighborhoods, but they are divided on caste lines.
And even after 60 years of independence.
And somewhere my confidence as a modern person, somewhere my belief that India is a modern nation was shaken. I mean, I knew that castes existed, and I mean, there was a lot which hadn't as yet changed. Old practices had continued, particularly marriages, that you marry within your caste, but still I wasn't aware that I had mostly lived among upper castes to whom I belong, and that my neighborhood was largely upper caste, and that the city is divided caste-wise.
It's kind of a discovery of a new India to you.
Yeah. So, I mean, interacting with this family and moving in that neighborhood and learning about that neighborhood was really an eye-opener. And but still, I mean, it was such a shock that it took years to even sink in what it actually means. I mean, at that time I just felt, I didn't know about this, and that was the first Dalit family I was meeting. Though I knew about Dalits, and I was 31 years old at that time, so I was an adult. I mean, I wasn't a kid discovering this neighborhood.
Did you try to discover the ocean gap between haves and have-nots in Pakistan?
In Pakistan, I mean, when I came to Pakistan, I started work on this film. So I had a certain perspective to look at, and of course, I mean, here the gap between haves and haves not, at one level to me seems larger than I can see it in India. Though often Pakistanis have commented that they feel appalled by the poverty that they see in India, and the gap therefore in India is much larger perhaps between the rich and the poor, which it must be. But to me, okay, I haven't probably seen people poorer than poor people in India over here, but I have seen much more richer people over here.
So, what is your realization? Did any of these nations benefit from 47, the division of the subcontinent?
Well, India, I think, did benefit, and the difference I see, if I have to say about what is the difference between the poor people over here and the poor people in India, I feel the poor people in India over the years have at least got a voice, and they use that voice in all the ways they can. I mean, they vote people to power, and they rebel, they revolt, they protest, and that protest does make some difference somewhere. Whereas over here, I feel that people have no voice.
You were a filmmaker and film teacher as well. You teach in India, and whenever you visit Pakistan, you teach Pakistani students. If I request you to compare them, what kind of differences do you find out, like in their concepts, in their technical know-how?
Technical know-how, well, in India I have mostly taught in colleges or institutes which are more professional. So the students who are learning there are totally devoted to filmmaking. So they spend 2 years or 3 years. It's a full-time, these are full-time courses. So for 2 years all they are doing is shooting and I mean learning things related to filmmaking. Whereas over here it's not, I mean the courses are not just about filmmaking. Filmmaking is only a part of that course. So the time that these students devote to learning about filmmaking is much less. So therefore, the level of commitment or the understanding of medium or the craft and the technique, both, or the awareness that there is something called craft. Technique, I suppose, if you can separate technique from craft at all, then to some extent technique is something they can learn. But craft is something that's, the awareness is much, much less. Probably because in India they watch a lot more work. There is a lot more happening around you. Many people making films, and many meaning actually many people. So you get to see a range, and mediocre work really gets out of your way and you get to see good work. Whereas here, because there is such a lack of people who are making films, so those few who make films are hailed as good filmmakers at all levels. I mean at the professional level, at semi-professional levels, documentaries and dramas or whatever. So that awareness is something that you can get only when you're exposed to, when there are a lot of people around you working, discussing cinema, watching films. So that environment is what is absent over here.
There is a question mark that whether our content is being defeated by technique. Technique is going to cross our content. Jagdari